What's happening, everybody? It is a Monday morning Thrifty Business Thrift Haul with Jay and A. I am Jay.
And I am Nay.
Hey, nice mug.
Thank you. I got it at Goodwill for 99 cents.
Very nice.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Couldn't pass it up. Yeah, well, it's all scratched on the inside. It has nothing on the bottom, no maker's marks or anything. It's just got the giraffe and wearing my giraffe headband and kind of matching. Yeah. And April had her baby, so it's all timely.
Am I the only person who didn't give a crap about April's baby? That day that it squirted out, it was just everything in my feed was that baby squirting out. So
squirting out, that's lovely.
Thank you. Mm. So I have just returned from Philly, New Jersey, hanging out with May for almost a week. We taught a couple classes. We went thrifting, and I stayed an extra day because I have visited Nay and the gorgeous city of Philly like 5 times. And I've never seen the Rocky Steps at the Art Museum. So I had some fun ideas for a couple different videos running up them like every tourist does.
And I was going to have my pink gloves on.
And May's got her pink boxing gloves for breast cancer stuff. So we had all this great plan. And it was thwarted by the NFL because, you can be like, what? The NFL? The NFL decided that they're going to have the NFL draft, which is a big deal. Nate doesn't get this, but to sports nerds, it is, at the Art Museum on the steps. So we should take a picture. They built scaffolding on the steps. So when you're looking at the stage, if you don't know that there are steps behind that, you would not know.
That there were steps. So much for that. Like they literally built everything over the Art Museum steps. So the steps didn't even exist anymore. So the one time that Jay gets to finally get to the Art Museum steps, they built. Yeah.
I guess I'll have to come back yet again.
I guess so, darn it. And now I also want to mention Christine in the chat.
Yep.
We had fun with Christine too. She flew all the way down from Canada and spent some time hanging out with us. And so thank you, Christine. We went thrifting with her and we had a lot of fun.
And so I kind of have 2 hauls sitting here. I have my haul from Philly that I'm going to go over, and I hit 1 or 2 savers right before I left, and I hadn't shared that yet, but I got some good stuff from it. Plus, today I found a bonus item inside an item, so that's always fun. We should start a thread. We'll start a thread on the thrifting board. I'll start it today after the show. Have you ever found a bonus item? Now, I'm not talking about reaching into a pocket of a jacket or a purse and finding a $20 bill or a used Kleenex, but anything other than that, because pockets are always like where you find stuff. This is you'll see. This is not normal. So, all right. So let's get to it here. Should we just do that picture we just talked about and start with that, Nay?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
All right. So, if I've done nothing else to help Nadine and others, I've got her to scan CDs and media and stuff like that.
And it's fun. I actually there were actually some times we were in record stores and stuff, Jay, that you were ready to go. And I was like, wait, I'm still scanning.
Oh, that's so awesome. Maggie in the chat just said the class, because we taught 2 classes. The class was great. I've already made back the money I spent for it with the stuff I bought that day. So
that's great.
So here's Nay and I scanning tons of CDs. Philly Age Thrift has an entire room for media. CDs, DVDs, VHS, records. I didn't get a chance to look at the records. There's so much in that store. And they have tons of shelving for CDs, but they get so many that at the base of the shelving, as you can see here, are tubs full of $1 and $2 CDs. So we went off and scanned, and so between that and we stopped at one of my favorite record stores, Long in the Tooth, Goodwills here and there. This is my stack. Okay. So this is what I brought home CD-wise. Oh, whoops! Probably should put me on the screen.
And this is my stack.
Okay, so I bought all of these.
Yeah.
And a little more stack here of these. Now, I don't need to show you every CD. The ones at Philly Age Thrift were $2 or $1, and I'm going to sell them anywhere from $10 to $50. And then I went to a record store, and I bought some that were normal price for a record store, like $6, $7, $8. But some of those are going to be upwards of $70. So I do want to profile a couple things just to show you that even me, the master, the man, the Mac Daddy of selling and buying CDs, still makes mistakes. Now, you saw how many CDs I got. I double check things I'm not aware of, not sure of. This CD, for some reason, seemed good while we were standing in Philly Age Thrift. Yeah, it sells on Amazon for 23 cents. So at the moment, I'm down 70 cents. So
well, I hope you like the whatever dance hits it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a great loss, but don't get discouraged if you come home and went, what the heck? I thought this was good. Now, I also didn't bother wasting time checking the condition. They take a little piece of tape and they tape each CD. Now, that doesn't thwart you, because all you got to do is just kind of open the other end really softly so you don't break it. And ta-da, you can open it. So I didn't do that because I find 99,999 out of 10,000 out of 100,000 CDs are always good. The one time it isn't, it really goes haywire. So this is not normally a CD you would pick up, but it was the import version. So I thought I'd give it a whirl. I did not look at it. And this is so scratched up, it should actually show up. Or maybe not. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the whole thing's scratched to hell. It's not even fixable. So I lost $2 on that. But if the time it would take to look at all of them, you got to think about your time's worth money. If I would have looked at like 50, 60 items, it probably wouldn't have worked out. I mean, I would have found this one, but the time it took, I'd rather just $2. So you should check them, because when you don't, this is what happens.
Okay. And I have a 4-year-old here, so just so everybody knows, we might have some background company.
Can Daddy take care of him?
I think Daddy stepped out, so so here is my stack of CDs right here. That
nice.
I got from,
not as big as mine.
No, not as big as yours, but they are good. So this one, I'll just highlight a couple of them. So this one is actually, and it was new with cellophane on it before I accidentally pulled it off. But it's Audio Forensics Lab. It's remixes for the hearing impaired, and it's going for over $30. So hopefully I'll actually get that for that one. And then this one I scanned on the way out of that record store. It was 98 cents, and it goes for about $14 or $15. So that was a good one. And then I've got a multitude of other variants. This is one that Jason said, watch this one, because this one is going, I think, for over $20, Jason.
Yeah. Now,
that's what I'm gonna.
Let's save that for okay. Let's save that for a thrifty tip.
Okay.
Remember what I told you about that?
Mm-hmm. That's why I was gonna mention that one.
That specific CD and a few others like it. There's a thrifty tip that if you're new to CDs, you'll need to really know and pay attention. So we'll save that for Thrifty Business with Jay and Abe. But remember, nope, not hearing impaired. People are asking about this CD, talking about our friend Brian, who's got the Mac Daddy CD fixers in his warehouse. Yeah, this is even beyond that. This will not clean up. It is so scratched. There is a level where it won't be fixed ever. So it's just $2 to write it off.
And then I have a couple signed CDs, which I'll talk about on a future show, because one of these is actually a thrifty tip. Remember this one, Jason, and the tip that goes with that? So that'll be another future tip. But I found some good CDs. Most of them are averaging about $20, some of them more. So I did really good. Yeah, I think I did pretty good.
Now, speaking of signed, I also found signed, and I found a weird one. I'm shocked the band did this. Usually they sign the booklet. They actually sign the case. And so the bummer is the case is all scuffed. I can't change the case now because they signed the case. Now, before you put it in the chat, before you ask me after the fact, am I going to get these authenticated? Hell no. No one is faking the Black Veil Bride's autographs, because there is no market for fake autographs of the Black Veil Bride. Now, you fake a Mickey Mantle on a baseball, there's a market for that. A huge market that'll make you lots of money. So if you're finding some, like, they signed this after their show at the Warped Tour, that's what it is. No big deal. Now, what I found more exciting is not only did I find a cool Christmas CD by REO Speedwagon, it's signed by Kevin Cronin, the lead singer. So that's an awesome bonus. And what I do is I do go online and check autographs. So I look at enough that I can see that, like, I figured out the Talking Heads one was fake. This is real. This is real. And my third signed one is a blues man, Frank Frost, who I don't know. Blues is a good genre to pick up and hunt for CDs and records, and to have it signed by him, pretty cool. So those will be added. Now, look at this little added bonus, Nadine. Now, this is not an exciting CD. It's about a $10, but we only paid $1. But in it was the normal CD and a clean radio version. I've never seen that before, where they had the clean radio just sit inside. So I'm going to put this in a double case and sell it as a special version. And then this is my last one I wanted to show. It's a Canadian band. The graphics are awesome. I can't find the CD for sale anywhere except for maybe Canada. But like, no one's got it on eBay. No one's got it on Amazon. I only paid $1, so I'm very intrigued by it.
So how do you tell the difference, Jay, between something that's not listed because nobody wants it, that there's no solds, and something that's not listed because there's a demand for it? Because I know that I found the other kind that you said nobody cares about that CD.
Yeah, there is a fine line, and some of it is knowledge in my brain, and some of it is just dumb luck. Like, for 99 cents, I felt the graphics were good enough to take the gamble. Sometimes you see for 99 cents, and if you do a little thinking and reading, you're like, that's just some four schmucks in a garage in Philly who did a self-release CD. Now, where it can get good is if those four schmucks turn into like Coldplay or something, because every single band had that early release that ends up being worth a ton of money. So that's what you kind of hope for. You need to have a little bit of knowledge. You need to know what the band's early CDs were. Here's a bonus little bolo. Write this down. Get your pen. Get your paper out. I always share this with my class. I'll share this with the people watching the show right now. Most of you know Kate Hudson as the pretty blonde actress whose parents are Goldie Hawn and I forget her dad's name. But there's another Kate Hudson, goes by the name Katie Hudson. Her first CD used to be worth upwards of maybe $1,000, probably a couple hundred right now. When Katie Hudson decided to be a mainstream artist, she had to change her name. She changed it to Katy Perry. We all know Katy Perry. Her first CD was as Katie Hudson. It's a religious CD. And at the height of Katy Perry-ness, it sold for about $1,000. So if you find that CD, you would probably not recognize her, and you definitely won't buy the name. But that's something that people hunt for. So if you hope that small nobody band turns into somebody, but you got to do some research.
Okay.
Now, I don't think Kurt Russell is not Kate Hudson's dad. So all you who said Kurt Russell, nope, not her dad.
I think that's her stepdad, isn't it?
Yeah, her dad's last name is Hudson, I'm pretty sure. And then someone was asking if I was taking questions in the chat. Sure. Yeah, we take questions. Especially if it's pertaining to something we're talking about. Don't all of a sudden be like, so how do you like driving a truck? We'll save that for another day. All right. But that is us hauling CDs. And as we sell the good ones, we'll share them with you in the thrifting board. Now, I thrifted other types of media. Now, Nate, did you buy any other media, or were you just buying CDs?
Well, I did. I bought some DVD. I have some DVDs now. I didn't buy the DVDs and books. I actually got them out of the. What's that? No, I got them out of the.
What's the option?
I got them out of the free bin outside of Philly Thrift, the second store. Yes, and I think actually looking at some of them, they're actually going to do well considering that they were free. So I can go through those real quick. I have two I Can Speak Spanish DVDs that cool. Yeah, they look like, I can't find the one, but the other one looks like it goes for about $15 free. So, and then I have some books. I have an odd one that I'm probably going to read myself. But then I have a vintage book here. Sometimes these do okay. I didn't scan it yet, but and then if you take these, now these are the Historical Society of Pennsylvania. There is an audience for these. I've found these in the bins before and sold them. If you lot them together, they can actually sell, not for much, but I might sell these two together for like $10 plus shipping, and they were free. And this one, I have to see how much this 1999 Reptiles is going for. I might have to give it to my sons though, but free. So yeah.
Yeah, so some thrift stores have these little free bins out front. Definitely, I was paying the meter and I walked up and they was digging through them. So, I mean, even if you pull out 10 items, they each sell for like around $10, it was free.
Exactly.
I mean, I would not worry about selling items that are selling for $1. But if you pull out some $10 items, and it's free, so don't waste time scanning them.
No,
things
exactly.
that to you or you think will sell, and then like Nate said, if the reptile
like
isn't worth anything, she'll give it to her kids.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so that's the other media I got. I did not get any records this time, but
that's a great handbag. I bought some records.
Yes, you did.
Well done. So we were at the Punk Rock Flea Market. And again, I won't go through every record I bought, but I got 7 inches, I got 10 inches, and I got the big 12-inch. But I do want to show a few quick things here.
Oh, that's that Kate Bush 45. That's the one that you had me hold.
Yep.
I remember that one.
So I get my tattoos all done by the same artist, my friend Dirk. He had a TV show called Bad Ink, and he's got a great tattoo parlor here in Vegas called Pussycat Tattoos. And the last time when I got this one done, he was playing Zodiac Mind Warp, and I was like, "Get out! Someone else knows Zodiac Mind Warp." And he looked at me and went, "You know Zodiac Mind Warp?" And I love this album in the '80s, Zodiac Mind Warp, and the Love Reaction, Tattooed Beat Messiah. And this is not worth the time, but it's funny that I just listened to this when we were getting a tattoo, and I rolled across it in vinyl. So, I know sometimes this is what I tell you not to do. I was buying emotionally. This is not worth more than I paid. But I might just give it to my tattoo artist. He can hang it in his tattoo shop because we both have a love for an artist that no one really knows. Now, I bought this for one reason, eh? Why is that?
I want to be a lifeguard.
Yes, if you're not in my Facebook group, it's called, yes, can I help you? Oh, it's in the bathroom. If you're not in my thrifting, my Facebook group, the Thrifting Board, we call our group the Beach, and the admins are a lifeguard. So I had to buy a record called "I Want to Be a Lifeguard." So we will play that and put it in the group. Now, in terms of making money, this is the Super Humanoids, and I didn't know them, but I looked it up real quick, and this $4 record sells for $30. So that was a quick, easy purchase.
Cool art.
Again, I told you, look for blues. This is Smokey Wilson Blowing Smoke. And I paid $8, and this sells for $40. Quirky, small blue stuff always does well. And this is the Rock and Roll High School soundtrack. If you've not seen this movie and you like rock and roll, it's a great movie. It's got the Ramones in it, PJ Souls, and the soundtrack's insane. The Ramones, Nick Lowe, Brian Eno, Brownsville Station, Chuck Berry, Todd Rundgren, Alice Cooper, and this is still sealed. Now, I did pay $20. At the minimum, I think I can get 50, but I might keep it. But I can at least double my money. And sealed records are pretty easy to list because you only need 2 pictures, front and back. There ain't nothing else to take a picture of. So that was my vinyl purchases.
Oh, you just said PJ Souls.
Yeah.
I know PJ Souls because a band called Local H did a song about PJ Souls.
Yeah, she was an actress. She's in that movie. She's also on the soundtrack.
Yeah. Do you know what band I'm talking about then?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I see them in concert.
Oh.
But before anyone asks, no, I do not listen to the records or CDs or tapes to check condition. I just visually grade them, and I've only had a couple problems ever in 17 years of selling 100,000 plus items of media. All right, Nate, what you got?
Okay, so I am going to dive into some purses, I think. So I have this one. Doesn't look like much. It looks like kind of like a touristy bag. It's flat. But the leather on this is so buttery, so real, so nice. And this came from the Goodwill where you bought one thing and I bought a bunch of stuff. Well, this brand in here, it's called Mr. Ernest, and it's a handbag. It's Simon is the sub name on the company, and it's made in Hong Kong. This is 1960s. You can see the label.
Cool.
And yeah, it's all leather inside. Now this brand tends to go for usually an average of like $30 to $40. I think I can probably get about $25 to $30 for this one because it's not as exciting as some, but it's pretty cool, and it does have some damage to the leather. Not damage, but scratches, scuffs. But I still think I will get that for it. And
now, see, that one wouldn't have even caught my eye. It's so plain. I would have never even stopped to look at it.
But the brand is the kicker on this.
Oh, I know.
In the age, yeah. So I paid $4.99 for this. So, and then I have, and then from, let's see, I have this one, which is all kitty cats.
Aww.
This is from, I think I got this at Philly Thrift, and it is called Henry Cats and Friends. If you look at the bottom. And this is going to be a crazy cat person's dream. This will probably go for about $30 to $35. So, yeah, the cats are just awesome on here. So, for all of you cat people, it's a really cool tote. And it's kind of one of those boutique brands that also at that Goodwill, I found a Nick and Nora set. That is.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you were just like, there's nothing in this store. I was just picked it up.
I also had to pack luggage and take it all home. Don't forget.
I know, but you were like, come on, let's go. There's nothing here. I'm like, I'm finding stuff. So this Nick and Nora set for $3.99 for both pieces because it came in a set. So this is the outer tote. It's just a clear tote bag, and it's got this retro flamingos and pool and barbecue scene. You can see it's got a cute little Nick and Nora pull here, and it's a cosmetic bag inside. See, so that set should get about. Hopefully, I'm gonna put it up for about 30, and I'll aim for. I'd like to get 30 for it, but we'll see what happens.
Hey, what was the brand on the leather one again, real quick?
It's called Ernest of Mr. Ernest is called.
Mr. Ernest. There you go.
Mr. Ernest. Yeah, and this is Tignanello, and if you don't know the brand Tignanello, you should, because they are not a high-end purse line, but they do have, they sell solid around $30 all day. They're genuine leather, they're heavy leather, they're made very well. So this brand, Tignanello, always look for it. I happen to be looking in with the scarves and the accessories at that same Goodwill, and they're popping out at me was a Tignanello checkbook / wallet for $1. So this will probably sell for about 20. So there you go. It's lined nicely inside. You can see like the leather is really nice. It's got one flaw on it. There's one little piece where the leather's peeling a little bit, but that's not gonna be a deal breaker.
Not a deal breaker.
Not a deal breaker, no. And then I also found at that same store this cute little
at that same store where Jason found nothing.
Where Jason found nothing, yes. So I found this purse. It's like a little cylindrical purse, and it looks like it's woven. It almost looks like that seatbelt weave, but it is a La Regale, and you should all know that brand in women's evening bags. La Regale, you should know that brand for women's evening bags.
We'll stay there for a second.
Yeah, so that's a really great brand for women's evening bags. Popular. This one is a vintage one. It's a newer vintage, though. It's more like 1980s because of the roping on the. It's not a chain. It's actually a rope on the handle. But it's really a cute little unique, hard cased little. It's a it's a unique design. So, and I paid $2 for that, and I should get. I'm hoping to get about 20 for it without looking it up. Now, this bag was a score, and I found this at the same Goodwill. This is Brahmin, Brahmin. I'm sure somebody in the chat will know this brand. Very, very, very high-end, very luxurious. It's this Brahmin bag is authentic, absolutely authentic. Now, I paid $13 for it. I guess they could tell that it was a quality bag. So if you look there at the, I don't know if it's focusing in on the hardware there. Can you see that?
Yep.
So this,
yep.
I made Jason, remember I made you feel this? The weight of it?
Yep.
It was heavy, you can tell. Also the grommets on here say Brahmin, and they should say Brahmin. All of the hardware should. And the leather is really high quality leather, and it should wear this way. It should wear just on the edges, there should be some scuffing and some light wear on it, just like there is. So that's how high quality leather wears. And if you open it up inside, it has Brahmin always has this kind of like really soft velvety lining to it, and this is the real deal because you can tell the thickness and the feeling. And here's the Brahmin label inside. So this brand should be on your radar. Now these purses new can sell in the hundreds. This one I'm aiming for about $89 for it. So I paid $13. I expect to get about $89, hopefully for it. It does have some condition issues, but it is an authentic Brahmin bag, and that was a score from that Goodwill. So the Goodwill where Jason said there was nothing.
Well, I bought one thing.
I know, for Stacy.
Yeah.
I'm just
here it is. Since you keep bringing it up, here's the one thing I bought. It was for my wife. It is Santa Claus as a pirate.
Oh, that's funny.
That's the extent of what I bought at that Goodwill. But my wife loved it. So when you bring home presents for the wife, that's always good. Do you have any more purses?
I do. I have a couple more.
All right, knock those out.
Yeah, sure. So I have this one, which this was actually this isn't from our haul today, but this is from my personal collection, and I just am getting to list it. And I just wanted to show you guys what a beautiful vintage purse should look like. This isn't, no, I mean, this is in pristine condition. If you look at this is the 1960s. If you look at the needlepoint on it, it is just absolutely gorgeous. It's footed. See the feet there on the bottom. And on the inside, it will have this fabric, which I talk about in the classes a lot, called grosgrain, Grosgrain. It's kind of like it's got a very fine rib to it. It's very distinct fabric. And this is JR, I'm not sure, I can't read it's JR something, and it's made in the USA. And I will probably list this bag for around $99.99. But it's hard to part with, but this is a gorgeous vintage bag. So that's the kind of vintage bag you should be looking for. And then I also have this one that I found. You remember this one, Jay? You passed it up. Yeah. Now this is Lily Pulitzer for Estee Lauder. They're not really going for a whole lot, but I should be able to. I paid $2.29 and then it was 30% off. So I should be able to get probably about $12 for it. So not a huge money maker, but still, a decent profit for what I paid. So, okay, I'm turning it over to you.
All right, so back to media. At the Punk Rock Flea Market, there people were selling cassettes, VHS, and I picked the best. This one I never heard of. It's a movie called Gift, and it's directed by a film by Perry Farrell, who's the lead singer of Jane's Addiction, and features the music of Jane's. I paid $1. It sells for $15. Hanoi Rocks was a band that never got its due because dipshit Vince Neil of Motley Crue got drunk one night and was driving his car and wrecked, and his passenger was the drummer from Hanoi Rocks, Razzle, and killed him. So this is their videos on VHS. This sells for $20. I paid $1 for it. Cassettes, 50 cents each, but I will show you the highlights. 9 Inch Nails Pretty Hate Machine sells for $10. Foo Fighters sells for $10. 2 sealed Judas Priest. They're probably $10 each. I'll probably pair these together and go like $30. This Susie and the Banshees Juju goes for $12. And even a Cassingle. How many of you are old enough to remember Cassingles?
I do.
This Beck Loser sells for $5. So I bought a bunch of others, but those are just a couple of the highlights of the better ones. Now talk about media I have never, ever bought. And you didn't even see me buy these. These are at-home commercial releases on Super 8. So back in the day, for you youngins, we used to have to string film through a movie projector in our house and watch movies that way. We didn't have VHS. We didn't have streaming, all other stuff. So I found a stack of Super 8 home movies. So here's Donald Duck's Dilemmas from Walt Disney. Here is the movie Born Free on Super 8. And then it gets really fun. This one is so long ahead of me in 2 parts. Smokey and the Bandit Part 2. Wait for it. Now we're getting to the best. You ready, Nay? Blow your mind.
All right.
Raiders of the Lost Ark on Super 8.
Okay.
And The Creature from the Black Lagoon in 3D.
Ah, okay.
So this is crazy.
Exciting.
So, this will sell for $50. Smokey and the Bandit will sell for $40. Born Free will be about $40. Donald will be about $50. And I've already worked out a trade from the Velveteen Lounge because they have a whole collection of Creature from the Black Lagoon stuff that they've already claimed this. So
cool.
So Phil saw one of the other cassettes I was holding. Yeah, GBH. And then also books. I bought this at the record store. Remember, I tell you, record stores are adding books. I bought this at the record store in Philly for $12. And here's the last one that sold, $35. Now, the bonus is I'm good friends with the man who wrote the introduction, Sven Kirsten. And so I might hold on to it until I bump into him next time I'm in LA and have him sign it. And what's great is it's art of all these different Tiki artists. So the buzzy keywords never end because there's so many artists in here. You just got to find out the ones that are the best and highlight those in your title. I bought this art book and this Cinema Builders book. So these are both like $50 books, and I paid $6 each.
Ah, I didn't see you get the. Oh, you got those at a Retrospect, right?
Yes, I got those at Retrospect.
Yes, I remember because you questioned the half off, and she gave it to you.
Now Nate took me thrifting in the ghetto.
Yes, I did.
The kind of ghetto where I saw a guy cut a cop off, and the cop just went like this.
Yeah, it was. Yes.
You're not killing somebody; they don't care. So
Pretty
I
much,
got this ink for 70 cents each, and they'll both sell for about $25 each. So that was good. But my better score at there was I use Old Spice body wash. So this is a kit with body wash, deodorant, body spray, a loofah, and the case. It was all $5. So
yeah, because it was 30% off.
So yes. Well, no, it was $8. I got $5. Yeah. So yes, I bought toiletries at a ghetto thrift store. All right, and then the last thing, two things I want to share, and then I'll hand it back to Nate. I always tell people, look for the craziest plush in a thrift store.
Absolutely.
Weirdest, I don't think it gets much more weird than this. Secretary in a jar.
Oh, my. Where did you get that
one? You didn't see this?
Where did you get that?
This was during our class.
I missed that completely. Wow.
So I told my assistant, you better shape up or I'm just breaking this glass and replacing you.
Oh, that's crazy.
And then the one kitschy thing I found at the Punk Rock Flea Market are these awesome fish.
Oh, yeah. They got home in one piece, too. Yay.
Yes, they're super fragile. Super.
Because of the quality Target bubble wrap that you got. Whole nother little inside joke there.
Still got the original tag. Now, this is going to stay in the Tiki bar for a while, but I might still sell it. I only paid $5. I did no research as of this moment, but I would list it for no less than $50. These are pretty bitchin'. Now, I did promise and tease a Tiki mug, and I paid $50 for this Tiki mug at the Punk Rock Flea Market, and I'm still going to make a good amount of profit. Now, this is from 3 Dots and a Dash. It's a kick-ass Tiki bar in Chicago, and this is a Fijian mermaid. Does anyone know what a Fijian mermaid is in the chat, or even Nadine?
It's an ugly-ass mermaid.
Yes, but it's very specific.
It's from Fiji.
Not really. It's not real.
Well, it's a mythical. Well, are any mermaids real? No.
No. Yes, they are.
No, there's no such thing as a real mermaid.
So, anyone in the chat know what a Fijian? I'm going to show you a picture in a second. But
is that one of the ones that can actually take on a different persona? Like it can be a beautiful girl, and then it's turns into an ugly. No, okay, then I don't know.
So I'm shocked. We got 132 live, and no one's heard of the Fijian mermaid. So back in the day, P.T. Barnum, Sideshow, Freak Show stuff, they would say, "Come see the Fijian mermaid." Thanks, Jane. Jane's like, it's a fake thing. Yeah, we know that, Jane. So here's a Fijian mermaid, and oops, I gotta make it bigger. What they did was they took the top half of a real monkey and the bottom half of a real fish and made it look like it was something.
Okay.
So that is a Fijian mermaid. Here is no, that's us scanning again. Nope, wrong. There we go. There's another Fijian mermaid. Okay. So you pay your dime or nickel, Ariel and drugs, and you would see it. So now that you know what a Fijian mermaid is, this mug was retired a long time ago from 3 Dots and a Dash. I paid $50, and here's what the last one sold for. $127.50. So at that rate, I've made a decent profit. I think I can sell for more. Plus, these pictures are crap. Even though they're top rated seller, you do not need a beer bottle and a Canada Dry ginger ale can in your picture on the carpet with your black backpack behind you.
Yeah, just put measurements in there. So, Jason, there were some other in that same little cubicle there, kiosk where that guy was selling all those mugs. There were some other mugs there too. What piqued your interest in that one and not any of the other ones?
This one I knew specifically was retired. The other ones I double checked; they were all still actively being sold, and they were being sold for $60 each. But I knew those ones were retired, and I use a third-party lister, so I still have all my listings in InkFrog. So I've sold this before, so the condition's the same. All I have to do is click relist. So again, time's worth money. I have to put no effort into listing this CD, this Tiki mug. I have no effort needed at all. So at the minimum, I'll make $50. I'll probably make more like 60 to 70.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
All right. So the one thing that I bought at the Punk Rock Flea Market that I didn't buy anything to I really didn't buy anything to flip. It was more crafty there than I bought a ring that broke already, and yeah, my cat ring broke. So yeah.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, that was a nice $10 that I spent. So, but then I found this vintage. It's a vintage '80s kind of cool kind of boho jacket, and it's rayon, and I'll probably keep it because it's really not like what I paid for. It really isn't worth the cost to flip it. That's most of the things there were priced that way, but but I really didn't buy much there except for food to eat at the time. And then I know I teased this. Now this is from my Goodwill, and it looks like just a plain white shirt, right? But it is a new with tags Patagonia t-shirt with their wicking technology. You can see it's got like kind of netting in it. So, and it has the original $46 price tag on it. So I should be able to get about $30 for this, and I paid $3.99 because they weren't paying attention and they did not put it on their boutique thing. And then I also got this shirt, which also looks, I had teased this looks like a just plain pink tank top, but the brand is Athleta, which is in the Gap family, and it's a Gap Old Navy. They own all of those brands. Adjacent? Yes, but it's higher. I mean, it's higher end than Gap. Like Gap body is worth less than the Athleta stuff. So this, you can see this, what it looks like. The Athleta, it looks like a little kind of one of those mints, like those. I don't know. It's like a little swirly thing. Can you see the logo there?
Yep, it's like a little like a little pinwheel.
Yeah, exactly, a pinwheel. So this, because it's Athleta, it's a size medium. I should probably be able to get about $30 for this, so maybe $25.
By the way, my wife gets an Athleta catalog at least twice a month.
Yeah, I did some yoga I did a yoga class for breast cancer survivors in the actual Athleta store, and they gave us a discount on everything in the store that day, and everything was going for the Living Beyond Breast Cancer, so it was for charity. So I looked in the whole store and I was like, gosh, even on the clearance rack, things are like $50. I'm such a thrifter that it was so hard for me to find something to buy. I ended up buying one thing for $40. So it's like the least expensive thing I could find in the store. So it's a crazy expensive store. And I would never buy it retail. So this is something that I got at our, this is the one thing that I bought at the Salvation Army that Jason and I started the whole show at. The whole birth of the show was at that Salvation Army. And this is 100% silk. It's a size 2X. It's got giraffes on it, which of course I love, but it's got this kind of crazy, cheesy African safari theme, and it is silk. It's got shoulder pads. I think it's vintage 90s, so.
That's the kind of shirt like a Cuban gangster like in Scarface would have worn.
It should do pretty well though. So I'm
say hello to my ugly shirt.
All right, so Jason, I'll just do one more clothing item, and then what I have left are yarn, shoes, and some fabric and pantyhose. So, so these I got for 50 cents at this little store that we did our class, and then adjacent to that store was another thrift store, and they had one color tag on for 50 cents. So I got these vintage Sears jeans. Yeah, for 50 cents. You can see the tag there. It just has some marker on it, but yeah, so I think they'll do okay. I mean, you know, even if I get like $25 for 50 cents, that's worth it. And then I found this size 3X beautiful lingerie piece. And that
was gorgeous.
Yeah, I paid $2.99 also at that Goodwill where Jason found one item. Yeah, so this was it's a really pretty piece. I did find though that while I was taking pictures of it, there is a small rip in the seam on the bottom, so I will disclose that it is something that's easy to repair. So I'll probably take like $5 off of what I would have listed it for because of that, but not a deal breaker.
All right, so speaking of plain shirts, and they were showing you things that look plain but will sell for good money. And now if you watch our little tees, you might have already seen this, but here's just a gray t-shirt. There's nothing to it. It is a V-neck, but it is the brand Psycho Bunny. And it's got the little thing on the sleeve and then the little embroidered, and it says Psycho Bunny. So if you don't know Psycho Bunny, Randy, I think Randy wore him on American Idol when he was a judge, Randy Jackson. But this t-shirt new is like $50. The ones I see at the Big and Tall store, like socks are like $49. I mean, it's just crazy.
That's nuts.
So I happily paid $4, and I'll put this up for like $40 and probably settle on $30. So keep your eyes peeled for Psycho Bunny.
That is just psycho.
Yep. And then the other thing I found at the same time was this Disney World snowflake hidden Mickey long sleeve t-shirt, new with tags. So that was $6, but I'll probably put that up for around $30.
So it was they were both at Philly Thrift.
Yep. Now you didn't see me buy this one, and I'm guessing you don't even know who this is, but I will show the chat.
Let's see. Wait. Tegan and Sarah. Yes, I know Tegan and Sarah.
You know Tegan and Sarah?
Yeah.
So Tegan and Sarah are a twin sister song group, and I did an in-store with them 100 years ago in Long Beach, and some of the nicest people I've ever had to do an in-store with.
Really? Yes.
They're super duper sweet. And the hoodie is missing the string, but I couldn't find this hoodie anywhere for sale, so you get a pretty good price for it. And hey, for our Canadian viewers, they're Canadian. Yay!
Yeah, now, that's funny. I know that band.
I know. You may have heard me say that when I was growing up, and to this day, I am not handy. My dad is very handy. He's a carpenter. He can build you anything, and he'll have like this much scrap left over. He's amazing. I, on the other hand, only got 2 jobs when we build stuff. Hammer nails in, and only where I was told, or sweep up. So I found this tool shirt that was very apropos for me. Know your tools.
Yeah.
Red thingamajiggy, doohickey, jingamabob, squeezy thingy. Yeah, that. And it's in my size, Nadine. That's what's even crazier.
Oh, my. Where'd you find that one?
So, I forget where we were.
It was stuff that neither of us saw.
Yeah, it was our class in Jersey. Yep.
Okay.
Jersey. And then I also I teased these. I did a 8 video. If you find any USFL stuff, get it from 100 years ago that isn't around anymore. This is the Pittsburgh Marauders or something like that. But I paid $2 for this hat. It's like a $35 hat. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And I have always done well, and I have actually found a lot of stuff. That is a movie camera by Panavision. I have sold Panavision shirts, jackets, the works. Now, who would wear this? Typically someone who works on a movie or TV show that runs a Panavision camera. But I've always done quite well. This was $2, and I'll probably sell it for $35.
Cool.
Jane, the tool shirt is 3X, but it's mine because it's my size, and my dad will appreciate it. And then at Retrospect, which someone pointed out in the chat, Retrospect is a thrift store, but it's a Goodwill boutique.
Goodwill, yes.
So what's this called again? I never remember.
It's needlepoint with specialty stitches in it.
All right, so I picked this cool-ass scene up, this little nautical scene for $8. But even cooler for $12 is this big ass Little Red Riding Hood.
And the frame is nice condition. It's in great condition. Yeah. So I told him to buy those. Yeah.
So you know, that is from hanging out with Nay and all the rest of the peeps who are crafty. I really pay attention to crafty stuff nowadays because I know there's money to be made in there. All right, so that's all I got to share from Philly. So why don't you show what you got, and then I'll wrap up the little bit I got from Vegas.
Okay. Should I jump to linens, yarn, or pantyhose?
Oh, hang on. My mom had a good point. Yes, we always forget to say this, Nadine. You got to help me remember.
Oh, yeah, everything.
Other than the things we said we're keeping for ourselves, which for me so far has been 3 things. Everything's for sale. So if you see something you like while you're watching our hauls or even after the fact, just message Nay or I.
Yeah,
we'll be more than happy to kind of deal with you and just ship it directly to you. So
Yep, definitely.
Thanks, Mom. Yeah,
and I sold a couple things that way too, and it's really easy peasy. Just PayPal us the money, and we'll ship it off to you. And
we'll cut you a deal.
Yeah,
you know,
we don't. Yeah,
it'll be good for both sides. And but I mean, the goal obviously for all of us is to sell our stuff. So while we're teaching you, if something floats your fancy, all right, let's see some pantyhose that'll fit me.
Okay, well, I think these would fit you actually, possibly, maybe. Let's see. Maybe not. I think they're 160 to 200 pounds. Yeah, but they're queen size.
That was like 7th grade.
Okay, well, they're queen size and they're vintage 60s. And
I'm a big girl.
Yeah, these should do well. I'm just going to run through real quick. What you're looking for, especially in vintage pantyhose, is the larger sizes. Now, these are also 165 to 215. I've got 3 of these, and I will lot these together. I paid $2 a piece, and I have.
Wait, would that say outsize?
It does say outsize. Yes.
So was that their idea of marketing towards bigger ladies?
Yeah, back in
wow.
These are 70s, maybe early 80s. But I know. Look at the ones that I had on the back that said there was a pair on the back that said for
my clothes were husky
for heavier legs like that. I had those. So these are really pretty. These are also queen size. 165 to 250 pounds, and they have this beautiful, if you can see. There's like a little rhinestone and some embroidery in them. So these should do well individually.
Ooh, pretty.
Yeah, it's very pretty. And I have, these 2 mugs I will show next. Jason and my phone died, much to Jason's chagrin. And so he, as a good friend that he is, he stood there and he scanned some mugs with me. And we found that these were good as a pair. These will probably bring $40, $40 to $50. I think I'll put them up for $49.99. And they are Starbucks. They're Starbucks Halloween. And with this, in the future show, will come a Thrifty tip. So you'll have to stay tuned to watch that in a future show. And then I found some good yarn. Good yarn. Vintage yarn. It's all, this is all vintage wool and mohair. So I found that at Retrospect for $2 a skein, and I'll probably sell all of that.
You want to find the natural fibers. I've learned nothing else.
Yes, very good. So I also found, let's see, a bunch of this stuff. It's called Pacific Cascade Yarns, and I've sold Cascade Yarns before, and I've got 8 of these, superwash merino and acrylic. So, but 8 of these together should go for about $50, so that's not a bad one. And I paid $4.99 for the whole lot. Now these are called plates of yarn. I've never showed plates of yarn yet, but I've never
heard that term.
Yeah, so I'll talk more about that, and they're not very common. So this is an Icelandic yarn. Now what you do with this is you take it and you can actually make it whatever ply you want to. You spin your own yarn. This is not this is where they talk about hand spun yarn. You will
oh, that seems like too much work already.
Well, people do, and I have a bunch of these. I'm probably going to sell them all together for probably like $50 or $60, but I have another Thrifty tip built into this, so that's another Thrifty tip for another day. And let's see, this is natural wool. This is undyed natural wool. This is a good, you're looking for that, like Jason said. And let's see. I'm gonna bump right into linens. I found this awesome 1970s new in package flat sheet for $4.99, and this should sell for probably between $30 and $40. It's pretty cool, and it's also it's cotton and polyester for trell polyester, which is 70s, but it also is it talks about being muslin. That's what it's called, that material, and it almost looks like it's got a linen weave in it. Maybe you can tell because of a piece of the package that's broken, but it looks like it's got a linen weave in that cotton. So it's a very high quality cotton.
Did a rat get in there?
Well, hopefully not, but I don't see any teeth marks. So, and then I found this at Philly Aids. Actually, Christine found this at Philly.
Wow, Sherry Gold's mom had a set of those sheets.
Oh wow! So this is wiener dogs. They do the breeds of dogs and cats usually do pretty well. And I paid $2 for this. And then at that little tiny thrift store, I got some cowl fabric, the one that next to our class in Jersey. $2.
Nice.
$2. There's a couple yards there, so that should be for somebody who's into farm stuff. And then my good friends, our good friends, Dave and Liz, came down from northern Pennsylvania where they live, and gifted me a bunch of fabric. So I have a lot of this. This is upholstery fabric. I'll just show you a couple of samples from what they gave me. There's some other nice. This is John Wool fabric, nice heavy upholstery fabric, kind of tropical print. There's some. Let's see if I can find this. Yeah, here's some Star Wars sheets.
See, you lied.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I did. I just realized that I should save them probably maybe I should list them and get them as a score for the next show. Okay. So here's Mickey, vintage Mickey. And then Michelle, who took our class and was a guest on our show previously, gifted me this awesome fabric.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that should do very well. And then, Jason, what do you want me to do about my shoes? Because
all right, hold on for a sec. Let me hop back in here.
Right.
We'll tease them at the end here. Real quick, before I show a couple last things, this cool little stuff you see behind me. Thrifty Business with J&A this Thursday is going to have a few members, like 4 or 5, from our 2 classes that we taught. There are people from all different parts of the country. People came up from Florida, down from Canada, Connecticut, and they learned a ton of new stuff. So if you've ever thought about taking a class with me or Nate or other people who teach classes, we're going to talk to people about what they learned outside their comfort zone, because that's always the key, is to getting outside your comfort zone and buying things like this. Like, I never would have bought this even like 4 years ago. And now I'm buying stuff like this. And I thoroughly am happy that I can add to my bottom line because I learn new stuff all the time. So speaking of classes, I'm coming to Atlanta in 2 weeks. I'm teaching 3 classes, 2 in a thrift store and 1 in a classroom type setting, kind of teaching you what to look for in thrift stores and then how to list it on eBay, best practices, all that good stuff. So if you're interested in the class, it's going to be Friday the 28th in Decatur, Georgia, which is just right outside Atlanta. Saturday is in the Stone Mountain area. That is the classroom setting. And Monday, the 1st, is going to be the northwest corner of Atlanta. I will put links down below to all 3 classes. Decatur is either sold out or one more from being sold out. About half sold out for the thrift class. Bless you. In northwest corner, and then about half of the class is sold out for the classroom setting. So, and hit me up if you got any questions about any of those. But come on up, join us. They're going to be great classes. This is where I filmed 2 episodes of Thrift Hunters. So I'm going back to the same spots that did me well when we were filming. So hit me up if you want any more information on that. All right. So I thrifted in Vegas right before I left, and I love the wall of baggies because they always stick stuff together that does not belong. Now, I bought these because I wanted to use them. They are to hang over your door, and you can hang a bunch of hangers. So we always have stuff that has been just freshly laundered or dry cleaned, hanging on different doors around the upstairs, but this has more room to hang more stuff. So I bought it to use But when you need to buy hangers over the door, you also need wallpaper border, because that's why these things are together. That's what I love about the wallet baggies. They put the craziest crap together. And then those of you who participated, I thank you. We do auctions a couple times a year for the local pug rescue. So anytime you can help out when you're thrifting, think about it. So I thrifted this little sign that, although I have a pug, I got tons of pug signs. I'm going to use it for the next auction to help raise money for some poor pug who got the short end of the stick. So when you're thrifting, besides thinking about selling, think about ways you can help or kind of give back to your community. And my community in this case is the pug community. I'll save that for last. Target does these collectible nutcrackers all year round, and some do better than others after the fact. This was Halloween 2010. I know it's 2010 because it says 2010, but this guy was a couple bucks, and he sells for about $40 right now. So around Halloween, I'm sure I can get even 50 back during Halloween. This is from an Italian company called Hudson Grace. I don't know if the company's Italian, but it was made in Italy. This gnome sells new for $60. I picked him up for $2.99. So I figured if I get 40, I'll be happy. He's a cool gnome. And then back to books. This is a Austrian painter. I cannot find this book anywhere. So I'm very excited. I find other books selling in the $75 range. So the good is I can't find this book anywhere. The bummer is it was a former library book. So when you do find library books, they can still sell for good money if they're rare, but you're going to have to mention it was a library book. So keep that in mind. And I've told you this tip before. If you make friends with your thrift store employees at your local thrift store, when they get books that they can't put out, they'll keep them for you. So then I can sell them. These cannot go on the shelf, but they can sell them to specific customers who are kind of like pre-vetted almost. So that's what happens when you make friends. All right. So this is the post I'm going to make in the thrifting board. Now, if you guys have been following us for a while, you know I only buy my pops, my Funko Pops at thrift stores. So this is Big Trouble in Little China. This is Donger from Breakfast Club. And now I got Walter White. But when I opened it today, something fell out of the box, Nadine, and smacked me in the foot.
And what was that?
For some reason, in the top of this box was a zombie from The Walking Dead. So this was what I'm talking about. This is the little bonus I did not know was in there. Kind of like that one CD that had 2 CDs. So this is what we'll talk about. So if you found a bonus in something weird, not a pocket, share your stories or your pictures.
Yeah, cool.
All right. So last thing, I'm going to toss it back to Nay. I talk about Tiki all the time. Everyone claims they can't find Tiki. It's there. I'm going to be teaching a webinar coming up in about a month and a half or so. And I started prepping it on the way home from Philly, all about Tiki, because there's a lot of Tiki things that y'all don't know is Tiki. And I found all this stuff in the same day from 3 different savers. So let's start with the actual Tiki piece. I found this Coco Joe's. And I don't even know where it is. I found a Coco Joe's at one of the ghetto thrift stores Nadine took me to.
Yeah, that you said I missed. Yeah.
So this is a Tiki statue. This would sell for about $40, $35. I paid $6 for it. And this doesn't look Tiki-ish, but it is a Tiki mug made by Tommy Bahama. The ones with girls sell because they retire them. The ones with girls sell for in the $50 range. This one will probably get me $25. It was new for $24. I paid $2.99. But this is a Tiki mug by definition. And then this is a little Hawaiian statue, but they made her out of a piece of bark cloth fabric.
Oh, cool.
Which is what collectible Tiki shirts are made from. It's pretty bitchin'. I paid $3.50 for it. I don't know what the worth would be. I couldn't find this exact thing, but I would probably sell it if I was going to sell it, Nadine, but I'm not. I'd probably
you ever sell
$50. And then back to, hey, that's not Tiki. These two are from 2 different makers, but they were sitting together. I assume the same person donated them. And birds, especially, tropical birds, always work their way into Tiki bars. So I will sell this as a set and aim it towards the Tiki crowd. And then along that lines.
Is there any mark on the bottom? Any mark on the bottom of those?
One, no. And one says, this one says made in Brazil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. I wasn't watching the chat. Someone wants to know, how do you know it's bark cloth? Bark cloth has a way heavier and scratchy feel to it.
Yeah, it's cotton, but it's like a heavier cotton. Yeah, that's got a texture.
Yep. And then nautical also works its way into Tiki bars. So this is a really tiny diver's helmet that I think would put a little votive candle in or something of that nature. Mm-hmm. But this would also go in a Tiki bar. So all this stuff came from one day of looking around. It's there. You might not know it. You might see some of these things and go, shit, that ain't Tiki. But that's what I'm going to be teaching in the webinar coming up. What is Tiki and what is not? Some things are not Tiki.
Okay. So.
All right. So Nay is going to teach us on some shoes.
Well, yeah, I have a couple more things to show real quick, and then I'm going to do the shoes. I'm not going to go into depth about the shoes because, Jason.
Because Nay, for those of you who are in my secret beach, the guest webinar of this month is Nadine. Yeah. Nadine has got all the info on girl shoes that you ever want to know. And let me tell you, I got an idea to make it kind of interactive and have some homework. But remember, I did one where I did homework before the fact. This one's going to have homework after the fact, and I'm going to do it too. So I'm in the same boat as the rest of y'all. Most of you, when it comes to girl shoes, I'm just like, what?
And what was I doing the whole time we were thrifting in Philly?
Just crushing it on shoes. Like, just.
Yeah. Like high-end stuff that, just crazy.
So if you've not joined the Secret Beach, it'll be open rather soon again, and everything got up to this point is saved. So once you get into the Secret Beach, it is my subscription-based group where we go really deep on subjects. You'll be able to watch it after the fact. So Nadine's going to teach us some shoes.
Like I'll show you not only what to buy with shoes, but what not to buy, how to clean them, where is okay, what's not, that kind of thing. So, and how to ship them, store them. So this, I had to show this sweater. I almost forgot. Do you remember this sweater, Jason?
Oh, that's a bitchin' sweater.
Yeah. In fact, the girl that was in line behind me was like, damn, if I wish I had found that sweater before you, I would have bought that. So it's a Woolrich sweater, and it was on the clearance rack for $6 in this kind of boutique-y thrift store. So there's a tip in itself in the boutique-y thrift stores where things are kind of cherry picked and more. There's always a clearance rack, and usually you can find something worth it. This is Plenty by Tracy Reese. If you can see this. That's a brand that you should always look for in women's clothing. There it is, and that was at that thrift store that we went to up in the Badlands. It was $8.99 and then 30 off. And then this is another Athleta, same thrift store, $3.99 and 30% off. Athleta, there you go, and it's a different kind. This is a cool Athleta that's got like and I think it's a size, it's a medium, so somebody's gonna like that. And I've got a DVF or Diane von Furstenberg skirt here. See what that tag looks like. You want her dresses, but her skirts will sell too. And you all should recognize this.
I thought you were just down to shoes. Where'd all this stuff just come from?
I forgot it was all sitting here. You should all recognize this. This is Lily Pulitzer. And Jason graciously let me have these. He spotted them first, I think. So, and then this is another brand that's pretty high end. It's Cartier. Now this is AC collection for Cartier, and it's made in France. If you see something that says Cartier and made in France, buy it. They're just black pants, but these should do very well. These could sell in the hundreds, but I hopefully will get like 99 or so. So I'm going to show you some of these shoes. I'm going to tease them. So I've got these shoes, high-end brand. I've got.
Well, you can show them a little bit more.
Okay, so what do you want me to say? Like,
you're like, well, no, you went so fast. You're like, hey, watch this. Wow.
All right, here you go. These are.
Yes, you can definitely give us a preview of the shoes.
Okay,
we'll talk
so
about
these are and I paid $5 for these. I've got these.
And what will they sell for?
80 to 90.
Nice.
Yeah. So I've got these shoes, high-end Italian designer, $6, and these probably will sell for about 50. Let's see. This brand is a fun brand, and this is kind of one of those trendy, fun brands. These should go for about 30 to 40. I paid $2.
Like female Riddler would wear those.
And I have, let's see, this brand isn't that sought out after, but these were in the $2. I paid $2 for these because that was the color of the day that was half off. And these should still sell for about $30. And let's see, we have these boots that are kind of a funky, trendy kind of brand, but not something that would be on your radar. And these boots will probably bring me about $60 to $70. There is a price tag inside the other boot that says that new. They were $120. So yeah.
Pick one more pair and give the full breakdown. Show us the brand. Tell us what you paid and tell us what you're gonna make. Okay, so let's see. I will go with these Bruno Magli's. So this is Bruno Magli, very sought out brand. These are vintage Bruno Magli's, and they're made in Italy. You can see on the back. And I will probably, these are also Saks Fifth Avenue, which also indicates vintage. They're probably 70s. How does that indicate vintage?
Well, because the newer Bruno Magli's, like this one, aren't co-branded with Saks. Like this is a newer label.
Oh, okay.
So they're not co-branded. So yeah, so if you see Saks Fifth Avenue or one of those fancy stores, it's usually, and this is also Studio for Saks Fifth Avenue. So these are probably 1970s. And I would say, yeah, these will go for about, in the condition that they're in, probably about $50. And I paid,
nice.
Yeah, and I paid $5 for them. So yeah, and I have a lot of other shoes from the whole shopping excursion. Some really high-end brands that I know are authentic, and I'll tell you how I know they're authentic. So
cool. And then those of you in the Cedar Beach who are watching right now, I didn't tell what my webinar is going to be this week, but I'll tell you now. I'll let you know. So those of you who are watching get the little early tease. I'm going to be teaching you what to buy, but mostly what not to buy in rock and roll concert tour shirts. I'm going to teach you how to spot the fake from the real. And I've spent a lot of money collecting the fake. So I have about maybe 30, 40 live examples I'll have here to go over with you. So that's what you're going to be learning this week, how to spot the fake from the real concert shirts. And if you look for nothing else in the t-shirt rack, you should be looking for tour t-shirts. So our haul, that is what's coming up with our shows and our classes. And Nay and I had 2 great classes this past week. So tune in on Thursday night to hear from the actual attendees, what they found, what happened. And we're going to have great tips and thrifting encounters from this past week, including the one class where I had 2 thrifting encounters, one very nice one and one very not so nice one. So I'll be sharing both of those on Thursday night. And like I said, next in 2 weeks, I'll be in Georgia doing 3 classes. So if you're interested and want to come, please hit me up. Or if you're watching this after the fact, I'll have a link for all 3 shows down below. But hey, while you're down below, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, please. We'd be really appreciative of it. And if you didn't like the show, really let us know. Hit the do not like button twice, and that'll let us know that you didn't like it, and then tell us what you didn't like. All right? So for Dirty Business with Jay and Nay, I'm Vegas Jay.
And I'm Philly Nay.
Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye-bye.